Good morning, children. How are you? I hope you all are doing well. And have you had your breakfast today morning? Okay, so be in your home and be safe, okay? Don't go here and there, obey your parents and be in your home, okay? So study every portions and listen to every classes every day, okay? So in your previous English classes, you have completed the first lesson from your New Pathways book, is it? Do you remember that? The first lesson, the topic of the first lesson, and the story of the first lesson. Can you say what is the topic of the first lesson? Yeah, the crystal cave, is it? So we have completed the first lesson, the crystal cave, from your New Pathway book, is it? Okay. So today in this class we are going to see the second lesson. Okay, we are going to see a new lesson from your New Pathway book, and the topic of that new lesson is my early days with the chimpanzees. Okay, so the topic is my early days with the chimpanzees. So by hearing this, by seeing this topic itself, you can understand that this lesson is something about a chimpanzee, is it? So uh, as the topic says, this lesson is about chimpanzees only. Okay, so we are going to learn about chimpanzees by the experience of a person. Okay, so this is an autobiography work. Okay, so this is an autobiography work, and this is not the name of the original book. Okay, my early days with the chimpanzees, this is not the name of the original book, and the original book's name is My Life with the Chimpanzees. Okay, My Life with the Chimpanzees, and this My Early Days with the Chimpanzees is an extract from this My Life with the Chimpanzees. Okay, so the author has written a big book, but this is a small part from that book. Okay, My Early Days with the Chimpanzees. So, do you know who wrote this My Life with the Chimpanzees? Okay, so I will say that Jane Goodall. Okay, so this is Jane Goodall, and she only wrote the work My Life with the Chimpanzees. Okay, so it is her autobiographical work. Okay, she has shared her experience in this book. Okay, and this grandmother, she was the writer of the book My Life with the Chimpanzees, is it? And she was born in 3rd April 1934. Okay, she was born in 3rd April 1934 in London. Okay, England. Okay, so she was not from India, she was from England. Okay, and she was very old, is it? Okay, so during her small age, what she had experienced with the chimpanzees, she has written as a book. Okay, this was an autobiographical book. As I told you earlier, it was an autobiographical book, and this book is fully about the experience with chimpanzees. Okay, why means she loved to study about chimpanzees. Okay, she loves chimpanzees and she loved to know more about these chimpanzees, and so she tries to live with the chimpanzee, and she tries to gather many things about these chimpanzees. Okay, so these are the things given in your notebook. Okay, so now we can see the gist of the story. This is not a story. Okay, this is an autobiographical writing, so we can't say this is a story. This is the things what she has experienced in her life. Okay, and see, Jane Goodall, when she was 26 years old, she and her mother, she thought that she wanted to study about this wild chimpanzees, and she with her mother went to Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania. Okay, so they both went to Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania, and they spent more than 55 years there. Okay, so Jane Goodall and her mother, they spent more than 55 years in Gombe Stream National Park, which is in Tanzania. Okay, so there what she is doing means she is observing about the wild chimpanzees. Okay, so this national park has many chimpanzees there, and so she is observing about these chimpanzees, and she want to know about this chimpanzees, is it? So she went there, okay? So in the year 1960, in July 16, she first went inside this Gombe Stream National Park, which is in Tanzania. Okay, so in the year July 16, 1960. Okay, so she went there and they were staying there. And every morning, what she will do means she will set off to study about this chimpanzees. Okay, so she want to see this chimpanzees and she will watch what the chimpanzees are doing, and through with the help of that she will find the habits about this chimpanzees. Okay, and while she visited there and while she stayed there, she found that the chimpanzees, they will not go in, they will not roam in big group. Okay, so they will be in only small groups. Small groups means not more than 6. Okay, so only 5 or 6 chimpanzees will be going. Okay, so they will not go in a big group. Okay, so while observing this chimpanzees, she learned this. Okay, and not only this, she learned many things also. Okay, so she learned that this chimpanzees, they eat mostly fruits. Okay, and also many kinds of leaves, blossoms, that is flowers, seeds, and also stems. Okay, but they mostly eat on fruits. Okay, not only fruits, as I told you, they eat kinds of leaves, blossoms means flowers, seeds, and also stems. Okay, but mostly they eat the fruit. And then some of the chimpanzee, some of the variety of chimpanzees, what they will do, they will hunt the animals and they will kill them and they will eat it for their food. Okay, they will take this animals as their meat. Okay, some feed on insects also. Okay, so some chimpanzees, they feed on fruits, leaves, flowers, seeds, and stems. And while others, some of the other chimpanzees, they feed on insects, and sometimes they will hunt, and also they will kill them and eat. Okay, so what are the food habits of these chimpanzees? They eat fruits, leaves, blossoms, seeds, and stems, insects, and also meat of animal. Okay, they will kill the animal and eat. Okay, but mostly their main food is fruits. Okay, so these are all the things she was observing while she studied about this, while she was staying with these chimpanzees. Okay, so what she will do means she will not stay near this chimpanzee. Okay, so she will be very far from this chimpanzees and she will be observing this, because if she is going near to this chimpanzees means sometimes it may run off, is it? So if it sees an person and if it gets afraid, it will be running off from that place. So what she will do, she will be standing in far off places and she will be observing about this chimpanzees. Okay, and as days passed, she will be going somewhat further. Okay, and she uses this binoculars and with to know about the chimpanzees. Okay, by the help of binoculars she observes the chimpanzees. Okay, so many days what she will do means she will stay during night, she will stay near the chimpanzees, so that in the morning time she can see this chimpanzees very closely. Okay, so this, in this lesson, this is not a story as I told you in the beginning itself. This is an experience. This is an autobiographical writing of this Jane Goodall when she was staying in that national park. Okay, Gombe Stream National Park, which is in Tanzania. Okay, so have you understood this? Okay, so now you can take your book and take page number 27 and I will read the lesson for you. Okay, so what you want to do means take a pencil with you and you can mark the new words, or else you can write down the new words. Okay, so listen carefully, I will read for you. Jane Goodall spent more than 55 years observing wild chimpanzees in Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania. Read an excerpt from her autobiographical writing. July 16, 1960 was a day I shall remember all my life. It was when I first set foot on the shingle and sand beach of Chimpanzee Land, that is Gombe National Park. I was 26 years old. Mum and I were greeted by the two African Game Scouts who were responsible for protecting the 30 square miles of the park. They helped us find a place where we could put up our old Eds Army tent. We chose a lovely spot under some trees near the small, fast flowing Kakombi stream. Every morning I got up when I heard the alarm clock at 5:30 a.m. I ate a couple of slices of bread and had a cup of coffee from the flask. Then I set off climbing to where I thought the chimps might be. Most often I went to the peak. I discovered that from this high place I have a splendid view in all directions. I could see chimps moving in the trees and I could hear if they called. At first, I watched from afar through my binoculars and now tried to get close. I know that if I did, the chimps would run away silently. Gradually, I began to learn about the chimps' home and how they lived. I discovered that most of the time, the chimps wandered about in small groups of six or less, not in a big troop like the baboons. Often, a little group was made up of a mother with her children or two or three adult males by themselves. Sometimes many groups joined together, especially when there was a delicious ripe fruit on one big tree. When the chimps got together like that, they were very excited, made a lot of noise, and very easy to find. Eventually, I realized that the chimps I watched from the peak were all part of one group, a community. There were about 50 chimps belonging to this community. From the peak, I noted which tree the chimps were feeding in, and then when they had gone, I scrambled down and collected some of the leaves, flowers, or fruits so they could be identified later. I found that the chimps eat mostly fruits but also good many kinds of leaves, blossoms, seeds and stems. Later I would discover that they also eat a variety of insects and sometimes hunt and kill prey animals to feed on meat. During those months of gradual discovery, the chimps were slowly beginning to realize that I was not so frightening after all. Even so, it was almost a year before I could approach them within 100 yards, and that is not really very close. As time went by, I began to learn more about the other creatures that shared the forest with the chimpanzees. There were four kinds of monkeys in addition to the baboons, and many smaller animals such as squirrels and mongooses. There was also a whole variety of nocturnal creatures, porcupines and civets, and all manners of rats and mice. Only a very few animals in the forest at Gombe were potentially dangerous, mainly buffalo and leopards. And of course, there are poisonous snakes, seven different kinds. Once, as I arrived on the peak in the early morning, before it was properly light, I saw the dog shape of a large animal looming in front of me. I stood quite still. My heart began to beat fast for I realized it was a buffalo. Many hunters fear buffaloes more than lions or elephants. But by a lucky chance, the wind was blowing from him to me, so he couldn't smell me. He was peacefully gazing in the opposite direction and chewing his cud. He hadn't heard my approach. I always try to move as quietly as I can in the bush. So, though I was only 10 yards from him, he had no idea I was there. Very slowly, I retreated. Another time, as I was sitting on the peak, I heard a strange mewing sound. I looked around and there, about 15 yards away, a leopard was approaching. I could just see the black and white tip of its tail above the tall grass. It was walking along the little trail that led directly to where I sat. Leopards are not usually dangerous unless they have been wounded. Very silently, I moved away and looked for chimps in another valley. Later, I went back to the peak. The peak began to feel like home. I carried a little tin trunk up there. In it, I kept a kettle, some sugar and coffee, and a tin mug. Then, when I got tired from, from a long trek to another valley, I could make a drink in the middle of the day. I kept a blanket up there too, and when the chimps slept near the peak, I slept there so that I could be close by in the morning. I loved to be up there at night, especially when there was a moon. If I heard the coughing grunt of a leopard, I just prayed and pulled the blanket over my head. Chimps sleep all night just as we do. From the peak, I often watched how they made their nest or bed. First, the chimps bent a branch down over some solid foundation such as four or two parallel branches. Holding it in place with its feet, he then bent another over it. Then he folded the end of the first branch back over the second, and so on. He often ended up picking lots of small, soft, leafy twigs to make a pillow. Chimps like their comfort. I have learned over the years that infants sleep in their nests with their mothers until they are about 5 years old or until the next baby is born, and the older child has to make its own bed. I never turned to camp before sunset, but even when I slept on the peak, I first went down to have supper with mom and tell her what I had seen that day, and she would tell me what she had been doing. Mum set up a clinic. She handed out medicine to any of the locals, mostly fishermen who were sick. Once she cured an old man who was very ill indeed. Words about the cure spread far and wide, and sometimes patients would walk for miles to get treatment. Her clinic was very good for me. It meant that the local people realized we wanted to help. Mum had to go back to England after 4 months to manage things at home. Of course, I missed her after she had gone, but I didn't have time to be lonely. There was so much to do. So, have you understood what I have learned? Have you marked the new words in your book? If you can mark, you mark, or else you write down and take it, okay? So in your home, you can read it once or twice. I think that while I am reading itself, you can understand this story, is it? So this is very simple only, and in this she has told everything about the chimpanzees, how they sleep, and she had told that chimpanzees sleep all night like animals, sorry, like men, is it? And also she had told when the chimpanzees will prepare their own bed and the way of making their own bed, everything she has explained in this story, is it? So whatever she had experienced, whatever she had seen in that national park, she had written everything in this autobiographical work, okay? So have you understood this? So what is your work means? You want to read the story once or twice, and you want to mark the new words, and also you can, if you want, you can write down, okay? So if you are reading it once or twice, you will understand this very easily, okay? So tomorrow, in the next class, what I will do means I will explain the meaning of the new words, and also I will explain this lesson line by line, okay? By reading every paragraph, I will explain this lesson, okay? So thank you, students.